Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to episode number 3 of our Momentum Connected podcast. Today we have two lovely ladies with us, Rui and Neha. They are avid gym goers. Yes?
Yes.
Avid Momentum members. Okay.
Yes.
And they're also entrepreneurs. So today's episode is just going to be a little bit about fitness, a little bit about business, and a little bit of just us getting to know you and what you guys do. Yeah?
Awesome.
So welcome, guys.
Thank
so Rui,
you.
I'll start off with you.
Sure.
Tell us and the viewers a little bit about yourself, what you do for work, and then we'll get into the fitness stuff as we go along.
So my name is Rui. I have a brand called Kangarui based in Nairobi, and we also have a branch in Japan. That's where I'm from. So I'm from Japan, but I was brought up in Kenya since I was 4 years old in Nakuru, actually.
Wow.
And
I don't think a lot of people knew that. Nakuru,
yeah, I'm a
right?
Nakuru chick.
Wow.
before
That's really interesting.
before it became Nax Vegas, actually.
Imagine.
So
Wow.
I'm still pretty innocent, don't like to party.
Nairobi's corrupted you now.
And now I have this brand called Kangarui, which is basically printing my art prints onto different kinds of products.
Okay.
All the art prints are based on my upbringing in Nakuru, next to the national park. So I had a lot of inspiration from the wildlife there and also the positivity of the people of Kenya. And I try to express that in my art. And I make plates and cushions and other items. And then I sell it around the world.
Amazing. So let me just go back into that. Your art prints. Can you just explain to us exactly what you mean by that?
Right.
So you create the artwork or you stitch pieces together? What exactly? Just a bit more.
So I have a graphic design background.
Okay.
So Photoshop is a tool that I've always been used to. And it had been a few years since I left Kenya. So I graduated high school and it had been about 10 years when I was living in Japan and Germany. And I think my body was just urging to go back to my home, which is here.
Yeah.
And so I started collaging animals that I like, as well as hand-drawn elements and scanning those and then collaging it on Photoshop.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that became digital art.
That became digital art.
And with digital art, you can actually print it on anything printable. So I started off with cushion covers, and now I have recycled paper notebooks and plates and clothes as well.
So it just gave you the scope to really take your vision to kind of as many directions as you wanted.
Yeah.
Amazing. So Neha, we'll move to you.
So I have a skincare brand called the MOM3NTUM, and I also am a co-owner of the Artisanal gallery in Gigiri, where I stock Rui's beautiful art on her products.
It's a beautiful shop, beautiful.
Amazing.
And so, I think 5 years ago, I started the Natural Mums Company basically to kind of bring back the essence of home beauty routines to we were going through this entire COVID period. I was developing my product range and I was kind of trying to connect to my roots, where I think for me as a teenager and a little girl, I was only exposed to certain beauty routines that my mom passed on to me, my grandmothers passed on to me, clay masks. We used to oil our own hair at home, or my grandma used to put oil. So all of these things kind of mishmashed into my now product range, which is sort of promoting self-love, self-care, self-nourishment. And then that business led me on to opening up the Artisanal gallery with a friend of mine and the co-owner of the gallery, Krista. And together I've just really, I think, nourished myself with incredible personalities around me, supportive personalities to really help me continue on that path and that vision to create what I essentially really want to create, which is either skincare or the dukkha.
Amazing. So it's the two products, kind of what you guys both have, kind of tied in to the gallery and what that product is.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah.
But if we go a little further back, so for the both of you, this question applies. Is it always been you started off doing this, or are there other jobs that you did before where you were I'm in a corporate job, I don't really like it, I want to do something more with my life? How did the vision of what you guys do today come about?
Yeah, I guess my Kangarui never started off as a business. I just was as a hobby, spending my extra time.
Yeah.
I've always been a freelance graphic designer. I was a digital nomad. I could work with my computer from anywhere in the world, and I had my clients all over the world. But yeah, in my free time, I was just making some artwork for fun. And when I started producing for my own home, friends were like, "Oh, where did you get that from? I want to buy some." And
amazing. It just kind of snowballed from there.
just a little bit, And then this American company decided to license my work to other big brands in America, like Target, Urban Outfitters. So some of the work was sold there for a while. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I thought, if people in America like it, people in Africa might like it, because it's all to do with Africa.
Yeah, and it's relatable.
Yeah, and I have to come home. So
amazing.
Yeah.
And for you, Neha?
I think for me, the search throughout my entire career life, whether I went from job A to job B, I definitely took everything in from all my jobs, but I think I was always in search for something more, something bigger. Like from when I went from job to job, or when I kind of maneuvered around my career for my whole life, I was never satisfied at where I was. And I always had this innate search to find my thing.
To have your own thing.
My
to
thing.
have your own thing.
Yeah,
So
to
that's what
have my
you
own
did.
thing.
So to have your own thing
Yeah.
and develop that into a business was always something that I think it goes across the board for all of us, right? Because when I meet people and I tell people, oh, I'm an engineer by trade.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, how'd you end up here?
Yeah,
You know, so it's just
It's true.
Sometimes you just never know where the path is going to take you, but it's like things that you enjoy doing, or hobbies or passions, and then all of a sudden, you
It
find your
turns
way.
into I think it's just
it's like, also I think, one really important thing is that you have to go through a kind of step-by-step progress, right? You're never going to be like for me, if I think about it from an engineering standpoint of view, do I think I could wake up tomorrow and have a huge engineering company that does all this stuff? That's probably not realistic, right? So it's also this dream of having your own thing, but kind of starting small and figuring out, okay, where do I start? And then where am I trying to go? And then, have a goal and be like, okay, I can eventually get there, but this is where I want to start, right?
But even wherever you start, I think for me, one of my biggest life lessons has always been that even if I start here today, in a month's time, I might completely fall, break, and at that point, I'm gonna have to get up again, dust myself off and say, okay, I'm here now, I'm gonna start from here.
Yeah.
And I think generally as an entrepreneur, or I think generally going through life, I think you go through a lot of these steps, which then end up, you in that moment, it looks like a hot mess, that you're broken, you start again, you need to restart from this level now.
Yeah.
But actually what happens is when you then look back for your last 5 to 10 years, you actually realize that every time you've had that break, that's been a step and a step and a step in your journey. And actually it's the journey that makes up majority of it. You're never, the end goal that you envision for yourself today is going to change over time. 100%. So it's never going to be, you're never really going to jump from A to end ever. As much as you want to try, you have to go through the journey. And the journey is all about these cracks and these steps and these falls and these getting up again and dusting yourself off and realigning and constantly making sure that you get through life. But for me, it's that I found my thing has been the biggest string that I hold on to.
I think it's a complete different type of motivation that you have when it's your own business.
I think that's a very interesting point.
Boss, right?
Absolutely.
If you fail, it's your fault at the end of the day. You have to pick yourself up. You can't rely on your investors or whoever, the people who own the company that you work for.
It's also an expression of who you are. So you can't let yourself down, because when you let whatever you have created, you let down, or you abandon it, or you neglect it. It's like letting yourself down, because this is a creation of you.
Absolutely. So let's touch on that now, for the both of you as well. we've mentioned something that I find like really important in terms of like, you know, putting this out there to people who are potentially looking to start their own business or embark on this journey of trying to step away from where they are into something that feels more personal to them. You know, so for the two of you, maybe we can just take it currently right now, because I'm sure there's been huge challenges that you've faced throughout the years, right? But in terms of like now and today, give us like one thing that you think is a really big challenge that you see now, but it's something that like potential entrepreneurs need to really think about before they start this journey. Yeah.
I mean, for me, sometimes for people that haven't started a business, it seems overwhelming to put together a business plan, to have the right figures, to have all these barriers it's almost like stopping yourself from entering. To be honest, I didn't start with any of those things.
Yeah.
I woke up and I said, I'm gonna make this today and then put it in a package, in a soup box today, and put a brand on it and a logo on it, and then see if somebody buys it. Like I think the more, I think you just have to get it done. I think more than that, you just
have
go
to
out
be
there,
a doer.
just do it.
But you see,
do it, and it doesn't matter. The business plan doesn't matter. The forecast doesn't matter. Your investment doesn't matter. Just put together the thing and put it out there, and that's your first step of actually doing it.
But you see, sorry, I just want to touch on that, right? Like being a doer, I think that's really important, because I mean, you know, I'm sure I've personally gone through the journey where I'm like, okay, like, am I cut out to do this? You know, like I need to be realistic with myself. Like, am I really the entrepreneur type person, you know? And I think that's a really important message, or like, you know, thing that people need to think about. You know, some people are just not cut out because you're maybe not that much of a doer, you know? And so like taking this step out is like, you need to be realistic with yourself that if you're going to do this, what's going to come with it, you know? And are you willing to make those sacrifices or do that work or spend that time?
I think it's more, Sahil, I think that sounds really heavy for an entrepreneur, you know? Like, I think...
No, I know, but I think, I mean, the whole point of like this is to like showcase,
but
right?
also,
you know?
when you're motivated, when you're so motivated to do something, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. It doesn't sound like a sacrifice in your head. It's not like you're giving anything up. You're actually doing the thing that you're meant to do on earth, your purpose. Yeah. So there's no sacrifice. Like, not doing it is the sacrifice. If you're actually
if you have to give up certain things, then it becomes a little bit of a sacrifice, right? If you have to take risks, on like quitting your job.
Taking risks is where the sacrifice is what I think you guys mean by sacrifice.
Exactly. I mean,
it's we're looking at reward and the risk
honestly,
factor.
The reward does not mean a successful business or more money. You learn so much from failing.
Exactly.
I would advise anyone to do something if they really want to do it, to give it a shot, because you would not regret it. I assure everyone. That you learn so much and you grow so much self-growth. So
no, that I mean, I can 100% agree with that.
Abundance comes in different ways. It's not just about the green at the end of the day. It's about what it's taught you, how it's changed you, how you've grown as a person, how you're contributing generally to society at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's the bigger picture.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, but I mean, my point that I was trying to make was that you have to understand that there's something that goes into it, right? Like, we live in a world right now where you open up Instagram today and there's someone saying, oh, this is how you make $60,000 a year. And, you know, there's so much of that, right? No, that's what I'm saying. There's so much of that you wake up all of a sudden and that's how it is, right? And you don't know what to believe nowadays, right? So I think the point that we're trying to put across is that there is an element of hard work and dedication and sacrifice and time and no, 100%. You know, like no salary, that's the reality, right? And it's not just like you're sitting at your desk at your corporate job and you're like, oh, I can wake up tomorrow and trade stocks and I'm gonna make $100,000 a year. You know what I mean? But we live in a society now where it seems like that's what everyone's doing, right?
But so, I think, you know, that, to be honest, is based upon generally personality types that prefer the security. That's what you're trying to assess. Like, you need to assess, have some level of self-reflection to understand, are you a risk taker on that level, Or do you prefer security?
You also have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
This is
that's a really
the key.
important one.
If you
No,
don't,
absolutely,
then it's
yeah.
just not going to work.
And 100%, even like for me, not that I'm just saying, I think in the situation, you have to believe in yourself so much so that even if nobody around you believes in you, if you believe in yourself, that's enough to carry you through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got just a couple more questions for us to discuss with regards to business before we go to fitness, yeah? So let's talk about productivity, right? We can talk, it's like a really big topic, but maybe you guys can give me like one productivity hack that you have that really helps you be productive, whatever it is.
Good quality sleep.
Sleep?
Sleep, 100%. I have underestimated the importance of sleep in my life for so many years, but I cannot stress now that if I don't get a good, solid 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night, my productivity the next day is, I mean, I can cut it down from 30 to 50%.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
All on how you sleep the night before?
On how my sleep is.
Yeah. And so like factors such as like, you know, like maybe being on your phone for too long at night, or like what do you do to try and ensure that you get a good night's sleep?
So unwinding an hour before I actually sleep, which means, okay, I'm not that good on not looking at my phone, but just a nice shower routine to relax me, and probably like 10 minutes of meditation to remove all my day's work, do my self-reflection, so I'm not carrying anything in my sleep with me. I've released everything from my day so that I sleep, I get the best quality sleep, and I wake up refreshed.
Yeah, because I think that's one that I struggle with personally as well. It's like you go to bed and you're physically like sleeping, but your mind is still running, you know? And that becomes like, oh, I have to do like A, B, C, D, or there are these pressures for delivering this on time, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And being able to switch that off is a really difficult one. You know, I feel like, whereas if I look at what it was like in my previous job, in a corporate job, right? You would do your work and you would go to bed, right? And you would wake up the next morning, and if there were some issues, you'd be like, okay, I have to deal with the issue now. But you wouldn't necessarily take that, you know, with you. Whereas when you're on this entrepreneurship journey, I feel like that's just never ending.
That's true.
And I think that's something that, you know, personally, I'm also trying to improve, because it's true. Like, if you do that, then again, you wake up the next day and you're not clear in what you have to do. You've got so many things going on that you end up doing like little bits and pieces of something and not actually really achieving anything.
When I don't sleep, I don't have clarity in my thoughts and my emotions. Like today, I mean, I've cried with my little one. I've definitely had anger today. Like I've had a whole wheel of emotions.
Yeah.
And I know that if I just got like a solid 8 hours of rest, I would have probably been a lot more in control of my emotions, of my reactions, of my thought process in general.
Absolutely. Rui, we'll go to you.
To me, it's actually fitness.
Oh, okay.
I think
wow, yeah.
when your mind is, you know, filled with lots of worries and lots of tasks that you have to do, and you're on the phone all the time. Just the, you know, letting your body go out there, either that's releasing your stress, having an hour away from your phone, going outside your house, because I work from home, my home is my home office. So that really, really clears my mind, and I'm able to start afresh the next day.
Absolutely.
You also sleep much better after working
100%.
out.
No, absolutely. I mean, like all of these things are tied in, and it's the same
It's
message
everything.
that we
It's
try
a
to
whole,
preach, you know?
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like eating right, sleeping right, working out, mindfulness, like those are my 4 go-tos when I need to check myself.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so I say let's go for one more question on the business aspect. What is one kind of tip or one bit of advice that you would give to someone trying to get into the space that you guys currently are in? Or, you know, let's make it specific. Let's not keep it generic. Let's make it specific. So someone trying to get into the retail space, or potentially opening some sort of, you know, retail shop, or creating their own products. What's one piece of key advice that you would have for them?
My key advice, if anybody is getting into a similar business, would be keep your horse blinders on. When you're executing, don't listen to anyone, don't think about too many things, and definitely don't look at what other people are doing. Focus on your step ahead of you and think only about that. If you start thinking about all of these other factors, you will get thrown off your trail.
Okay.
Just keep blinders on, focus and stick to your lane in what you know you're doing best. And don't worry about what other people are doing.
Rui?
Yeah, mine is to get inspired from other people, but not to copy other people.
Yeah.
So to have your own focus and have an USP.
Yeah.
Your unique selling point.
Yeah.
Be different to others in some way and sell
Absolutely.
that. People, and I think that would come with passion and people would buy that passion.
Yeah.
So if you're just trying to copy what's trendy at the moment or what other people are
work. It won't
doing that
work.
looks successful, it's just not going to work.
No,
I
absolutely.
believe.
I think
So-
that's a key word. That's a word that when I started Momentum, didn't have. You know, and it's taken me, you know, like 4 years, 5 years to understand what a USP is and, you know, like really look at your business and be like, you know, what exactly is our unique selling point and what exactly, you know, because it's so easy to get carried away trying to do everything, right?
And your USP actually as a business owner is your personal USP that's going into the brand.
That's going into
Exactly.
the brand, yeah.
That is a unique expression of who you are as a human being.
Yeah.
That's coming out of you. No one can copy that because no one can copy you.
Yeah.
No one can copy you as a human.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's again adding to your point. Even if they try, you will fail because you are not
Yeah.
this
Genuine.
person. You're not
Yeah.
genuine.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, so moving on from the business, let's talk a little bit about fitness, right? Maybe we can start at COVID. So COVID, Rui, you were in Japan. Yeah, so we haven't seen you for a very long time, actually, when we think about it.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. How was that whole period in Japan? Did you do anything fitness related? How did you keep yourself motivated?
I think, I mean, I used to go to your gym a lot for about 2 years. And then suddenly I had to move back to Japan, be with my parents.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know new gyms there.
Yeah.
But after a few months, I found this app where you could actually go to different gyms around Tokyo with one membership.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And because I wasn't sure which gym would be best for me, I was doing boxing in the dark with music and trying weights and doing this and that. And I started to create my own routine with all these different gyms.
Yeah, just at different places.
Right.
That,
And because you have much less social life and you're always at home working, it motivated me to actually spend that extra time to work out.
Yeah.
And I actually became fitter.
Wow.
during COVID.
Wow.
So that was fun,
Yeah. So gyms were closed in Japan or no?
Some gyms were at the beginning and
But
then it
then-
started to open up as long as you wear a mask.
Okay.
All the
That's amazing.
equipment
was
was
sprayed down and all of
sprayed
that.
and it was fine,
Yeah. I mean, so and you, Neha, I mean, you tried to do some online stuff. We tried to do some online stuff as Momentum.
I'm trying to remember.
That was hard. That was really hard. I mean, we really so for us that was a really difficult one because we went from like being, you know, in Nairobi, we having our client base and all of that, and then once everything shut down, now everyone is online, right? And now it's kind of like you're competing with like gyms in London and LA and
YouTubers,
Dubai and YouTubers, and everyone is doing Instagram lives and everyone you know is now a fitness influencer. And it was just like, we were just like, oh my God, like where do we start? You know, where do we start? We tried the like Zoom online
classes.
I mean, like
not the same,
realistically,
right?
it wasn't great.
It's not
It
the
wasn't
same.
great.
It's not the same.
So to anyone who attended those, we tried. It wasn't good, we know, but our doors are open now. So thank God we don't have to go back to that. But I mean, like even from a business perspective, you know, like people were like, oh, that's the end. You know, Peloton is going to be the next best thing and nobody's going to go to a gym ever again and this and that. And so like, it was just like, again, overload of information. And you're like, as a business owner, you're there and you're like, okay, now I have to try sift through this and be like, where are we going? What are we doing? You know? But yeah, so it must have been like, so you were here with us.
I mean, I was doing
we were
PTs, I
closed.
think.
Yeah. Home PTs.
Home PTs.
Yeah.
And then I think the second wave, again, like we got together with Sheiks and Aditi doing PTs at home
Yeah, we did
with
some
groups, with smaller
small
groups
at home. Yeah.
at home. But I mean, I don't think I could ever stop working out. It's just for me.
And be physical with others, right?
Yeah.
And I think I am not just, as you said, like, or is YouTube going to take over the market and no one's going to go to the gym? It's completely different.
It's completely,
I need to interact.
Entering your gym, seeing other people working out, doing classes together, motivating each other.
So much motivation.
100%. Gives me so much energy.
100%. But I mean, it's like, it's just like, in COVID, you maybe like bought an espresso machine in your house, like, does that mean you're never going to meet a friend for a coffee? You're never going to go out for a coffee?
No,
like,
exactly.
But yeah, so next thing is from that, motivation. Yeah. What do you guys do for motivation, or like what keeps you motivated? Because I think that's something that, like, again, when you look online, or maybe people watching this, they're like, all these people are always motivated. Oh, I've seen Neha in the gym. She's like always motivated, and like, so, but I think that's, the reality is not everyone is 100% motivated all the time, So you have to do things to kind of keep yourself motivated. And what are the things that you guys kind of do to make sure you try and keep yourself motivated and try and keep yourself consistent?
I don't know. It's not, for me at this point in my life, I've been working out for so many years. It's not hard for me to come to the gym. It used to be, because it used to be a challenge for me. I had to motivate myself to get to the gym, to work out. But once that process becomes automated in your mind, it's like conditioning, right?
That's true.
It doesn't become a challenge anymore. So the next challenge is maybe like, it's become part of my lifestyle to make it 3 to 4 times a week, to come and like de-stress, work out, get myself, stay in shape is such an important part of maintaining my mindset that I don't think twice about it. It's like a complete necessary part of my life that also keeps my health in check, that keeps my mind health in check.
And would you say that finding a place that you can relate to, or that you feel you fit into, plays a big role in that, right? Because for something to become lifestyle, if you don't enjoy doing it, or if not a place that you can relate to or feel comfortable.
No, 100%, Sahil. Like, I have felt so much support and so much positive support at MOM3NTUM, like genuinely, from all the coaches, from you guys, from all the people that I've met, like new people that I meet at the gym. It's just such a positive environment. I love working out with other people. I love seeing my friends at the gym. I love making friends at the gym.
That's a motivator.
That is it, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I think it's like, we're at that stage where, like, that's the same message we try to put across to people, is that, find your fit. It's not a one size fits all. And, find something that, you feel connected to, and you feel either inspired by, because that's going to drive your motivation, right? Don't go and lift weights if you don't enjoy lifting weights.
So exactly,
I feel like sometimes it's just as simple as that,
it depends on the day. On Monday, I might love to enjoy weights, but Wednesday I might be like, oh my God, I can't do anything. But maybe I'll do yoga. Maybe I'll do kickboxing.
Just follow your flow.
Exactly. You have to just listen to yourself.
Exactly. So I think that's really important, because a lot of people look at it and be like, oh, I have to like do this, or I have to do this. It's just like, it can be anything, right?
It doesn't last long. If you have to force yourself to do something because you want to lose weight, or because you want to reach a certain level of muscle mass and all that, you have to do something you enjoy.
And I think it's going through that journey as well, right? Like, and I'm sure, like, if you guys have been working out for a while now, like, you went through the phase where you're like, oh, I really enjoy doing spin, and then all of a sudden I don't like doing spin. Like, I think it's natural, right? Everyone goes through that. Like, you have your phase where you maybe really enjoy doing something, and then it phases off. But I think eventually, over time, you find what works for you and what works for your body.
But that also changes. That always constantly changes.
Like, no, exactly. So it's just like everyone's fitness journey will continuously change, right? So it's not like, if you start off saying, oh, I just want to do spin, then that's what you're going to do for the rest of your life. You might go through it. The fitness industry is obviously constantly evolving as well.
And try something new.
It's all, that's a big one. I was just getting to that. Like, I think people shouldn't be afraid to try something new. You never know, you might just end up liking it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. A couple more questions here before we close off. Some will be really short and simple, right? Let's go to music. This is a good one. This is always fun, no?
I don't have my phone.
You don't have your phone?
We love Jake's playlist.
Okay.
God, okay.
So
you start.
One song that's on your gym playlist.
Hot Girl Summer.
Okay, I can relate to that one. That one gets people hyped.
Yeah.
Neha? I can show you my Spotify.
Yeah,
you
please.
Can,
Can
pick me
I?
up.
On the low, on the low.
On the low,
Yeah.
anything by Burna Boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I
Okay.
hear Burna Boy in the gym, I'm
You're
happy.
good. You're good. Okay, and then I know the coaches are gonna obviously want me to ask, you know, who your favorite class is, which is your favorite class. So I'm just gonna ask that. Either way, you don't have to say me because I'm here. I would appreciate if you said me. But
Do I win anything
I'm sure
for this,
Jake and, I'm
Sahil?
sure Jake
She's
and Abby.
my favorite workout buddy. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, fine.
We
We'll leave it
motivate
at
each
that.
other.
We'll
yes.
leave it at that. So Jake and Abby, you know.
But I would
wasn't clear-cut.
that Jake's evening boxing class, the ladies boxing class,
Oh, the ladies boxing.
comes pretty par to
So you
your
did it the
Friday
first
power
time.
class.
You did it for the first time last week, yeah?
Those
I did it
vibes
with
are-
Abby in
those
the same
vibes are
bag.
awesome.
Their
Yeah.
vibes are awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Great, yeah.
Fair enough. So Jake, you get some brownie points there, man. Okay, going from that, because we are talking a little bit about fitness, one exercise that you love to do and one exercise that you hate to do. We'll start with you, Rui. Like one exercise that like you come to class and it's on the board and you're like, oh,
Yeah, I know one already.
You
This
start.
is
Okay.
this is mostly Sam.
oh, okay.
Okay, this one.
Oh, for the warm up, coordination. It just gets
it.
you.
Yeah.
And okay,
I
favorite
can't
exercise.
skip that fast as he does, so I just
okay.
can't. But favorite.
Everyone's going to hate me for saying this.
No, go for it. Go for
But
it.
I'm
That's the whole
going to
point.
say burpees
Your favorite exercise is burpees.
because it's
Oh my
so
God.
tough
Oh my god.
and I just want to do my best.
I mean-
And I love to challenge myself. But don't add burpees today though, I'm alright.
I honestly think you might be the only person in the world to ever have said that.
Like it's just fun to like, you know, jump
going,
up
yeah,
and,
No.
with the music.
and
Like
it's not fun when your heart feels like it's gonna burst out of your chest.
I also
Absolutely
do
not.
love weight training. So
Yeah.
I actually, my body changed quite a lot in the past 6 months.
Okay.
And I've been posting that on my social media and a
Yeah.
lot of people have asked me, how did you transform? And I think
Yeah.
it's obviously to do with my diet as well, but
Absolutely.
weights.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do this much weight training.
Yeah.
I started a little bit before COVID with your
Yeah.
classes,
Yeah.
but COVID hit and I was doing some kickboxing in
Yeah.
Japan. But I found a gym in Japan as well where I could,
could
start
do some
lifting
strength
weights.
training
And
and some
actually,
weights, yeah.
you start seeing your arms and your abs getting formed. And
Let me tell you
wow.
I mean, that's a
something.
big thing. Sorry. So,
For
in terms
me-
of for both of you as
Oh,
women, right?
100%.
You know, like weight training, because I know that's like we get a lot of women who ask or who are nervous to get started on weights. You know, and as soon as you like, even in a group session, you like tell them to take a heavier dumbbell, people feel
like
a
they
bit.
don't want to get bulky.
Yeah, they get a
I
bit-
don't think
they're a
they're
bit
bulky.
hesitant, you know?
After I put on about 23 kgs post baby, and I needed to get in shape at that time after my second baby, which is much harder. Very challenging to get your body back in shape, and I've always been generally quite athletic. So this time
Yeah.
I was like completely disconnected from my mind, body, soul. And the first thing my trainer at that time, Abdul, was like, you need to go on weight training. And he put me on so hard and made me understand the importance for women
to do weight training.
to do weight training.
Yeah.
Because we lose our muscles as we get older and we're
Yeah.
not carrying our strength. Like we have zero upper body strength. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true. Upper body strength, I did not
So
have.
it
Yeah.
changed my life.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah,
it's
it
changed
changed
yours
my
as
life
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, so that's really, really great feedback because it's just like for a lot of women, it's what we try to preach. But you know, it's like you're not going to become bulky after doing
Yeah,
3
no,
group
yeah,
sessions of
no,
lifting weights.
no.
And I think there's definitely a lot of benefits to weight training and strength training. And I think
100%.
that's something that we're going to get into with the coaches and maybe have that as one of the topics in one of our next episodes.
Yeah. And you can feel your improvements, right?
Yeah.
By like feeling the weights. Like it
Yeah.
was one day like 10 kilos was super heavy, but then you lift 12.5
You
the
get to
next
see the
time and you're like,
progress and feel the progress,
actually,
yeah.
you know? So
No, absolutely.
yeah, feeling
I
the
think,
progress is
I think with
actually
weight training, you get to see that
motivating.
kind of that constant improvement.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite easy for you to
Yeah.
get a judge and get a sense of, oh, I'm getting stronger, you know?
Yeah.
And I think just as human beings in general, like
Yeah.
when you go back to your roots of training and keeping fit and the whole fitness industry, you know, we are naturally used to lifting logs and stones and building and doing things physically, which we have completely snapped ourselves out of, and we need to go back into that physical form, which is why, that's why I also feel really comfortable, at Momentum when no shoes. Like, I'm really thinking about my form. I'm thinking about so many other things rather than, I don't know, nonsense.
It feels good, right? You go to a supermarket and then you're lifting water and milk and all that, and it's like, it's actually not that bad.
Or that I have energy.
I can still work out with these. Like,
and I have energy at the end of my day to play football with my kids. Like,
it feels
I have so
good to
much
be
energy,
strong,
and
for
I'm
sure.
strong. You know.
Fantastic. So I think we'll definitely get into that in terms of the weight training and the strength training, and have an episode where we get the coaches involved, Abby and Jake and Kevin, and really discuss strength training and, like, what are the benefits for women? What are the benefits for guys? What are, like, someone who's looking to start off their fitness journey and, like, have really been interested in doing weights but have been hesitant? So I think we'll definitely get into that. But I think for today's episode, ladies, I think we're done. Thank you very much for being part of the show.
Thank you.
To all the viewers out there, I hope this is another interesting episode. So make sure you check out the link in YouTube and on our Spotify. Ladies, we'll put the links of your two businesses on the podcast so you guys can check out Kangarui and the Artisanal Gallery and the Natural Moms Company. And other than that, I think it's time for me to go prep for my class. Thank you very much, guys.